You're listening to the Steve Price Breakfast Program, thanks to API Locksmiths. Now you're talking security. Call 131-KEY.
8 to 8, I am an unabashed Tigers fan. I have been ever since I moved to Melbourne in the 70s. And I have, like most Richmond people, been through pretty lean times post the 1982 appearance in a grand final. I'm pleased to say, though, that I'm involved in what's been called the Fighting Tiger Fund, where the club is going to try and reduce its debt and get itself on an even keel with clubs like, and let's face it, it's pretty tough. Collingwood's just announced they've gone through the 60,000 member mark. You have clubs like the Adelaide Crows where they own half a town. Same with the West Coast Eagles. You have clubs that have benefactors that are prepared to put their hand in their pocket for huge amounts of money. Dick Pratt, when he was alive, was happy to match dollar for dollar money that Carlton raised. Richmond's never really had that extremely wealthy patron. And so they've struggled. They've struggled with things like the quality of the training facility the players have had to go through. I remember when KB was the coach there, he went in, when he started, they had holes in the wall and rats running through the joint. So tonight this function will take place, and I'm happy to say KB's in the studio with me. G'day, Kevin.
G'day, Steve.
That's not an exaggeration. It was basically a rundown.
Well, it has been for nearly 30 years. Has been for nearly 30 years. I can recall that Bruce Seymour, who was just about everything at the club at that particular point of time. He was football operations manager. He was one of the only full-time people there. He was head recruiter. We had no recruiting structure whatsoever. He painted the entire club rooms over the Christmas period. I had to go out and buy my own speedballs and punching bags and gloves and had to put them up myself, so had the tool kit on. Not the sort of thing that you expect at an AFL club in those days, but unfortunately it's been break for 30 years.
People would say to you, Kev, that it didn't stop you and Tommy and the team winning flags in the 60s and 70s.
Everyone was on the same footing then. We all worked. We all came down at 5 o'clock. We all had, shitty little grounds and mud everywhere and, a couple of lights on top of the grandstand.
Yep.
It got dark early. You could go out and recruit somebody because you had a zone. So everyone was on an equal footing. But as we know, as it's become very, very professional now, not everyone is on an equal footing. Have a look at, the Tigers over the 30 years, their facilities. Have a look at the Bulldogs. Have a look at North Melbourne. Have a look at Melbourne. So it's not an equal footing these days. And we can see with even the AFL has realised that. And, they give millions of dollars of assistance to these clubs to try and keep them alive.
The bloke we would have all loved to have seen have success in finals was Matthew Richardson. He's on the line. Richo, good morning.
G'day, Steve. G'day, KB.
G'day, Matty.
When you got there, what were the conditions like that you had to train in?
Well, probably no different to what they were when KB was coaching. I came along probably, about 12 to 18 months after KB finished coaching, and they hadn't really changed. We had the pretty ordinary gym under the grandstand there and the showers and, no recovery sort of stuff at all, no ice baths, none of the stuff that some of the other clubs had, and the ground was in pretty ordinary nick with the drainage and poor lights, so it was pretty ordinary.
And you'd go to Adelaide, Richo, and you'd have a look at what the Crows set up when they started, and you'd think, my God.
Yeah, well, as the 90s went on and into the, the early part of this decade, you'd go over to Subiaco, you'd go even up to the Gabba when that was redeveloped, or Footy Park over in Adelaide, and you looked at their facilities and you just wondered how much easier it would be to prepare and get ready for football.
We don't want people to think we're whingers, though. I mean, Richmond now has decided to put a stake in the ground and try and retire a huge amount of debt. Why, Matthew, is that important that we get rid of the debt?
Well, it's very important because at the moment the club's financial and going pretty well, but we're servicing a large amount of debt and you just can't get on top of that. So every year you're putting this money into your interest repayments. So if you could reduce the debt, that money that you're spending on the interest can go back into the football department. And it has been proven, over the last 10 years, the more that you spend in your football department, the better off you are, the more finals you play in. And that's a fact and that's undeniable. So that's basically the reason we're doing it.
More finals, more grand finals, more premierships. That has come through loud and strong over the last 10 years. There's no doubt about that. Look, it's a pretty audacious move by
Risky?
Brendan Gale. It is risky because it's a one-off. You can't go back to the well again. When he first asked me about it, Steve, I told him it was audacious and I didn't like his chances, to raise $6 million when you're telling your supporters that you're not broke, you're not going out of business, that's most unusual. So it's going to tap into those who have followed, say, like Matthew Richardson for 20 years, to see a player like Matthew play at the club for 20 years with no success, no real chance of success, and whether they want to look at themselves and say, do I want to follow Tigers for another 20 years and still finish always out of the top 8 and see some great players come and go like Richo, yet it all amounts to nothing.
But there's this thing, isn't there, Matthew, that among the Richmond followers that is almost inexplicable. I mean, I've got 2 children, 13 and 12, who I've forced to be Richmond followers since birth. They've never seen any success, but still they would never, ever, even in the 10 years I lived in Sydney, want to follow the Swans. They still wanted to follow Richmond. There's something about Richmond and Richmond people that it gets in your system, and you can't get rid of it. You don't want to because of a lack of success follow someone else.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, our supporters have been amazing over that period that you're talking about. The 20 to 25 years without being able to watch a team regularly play in finals. They've stuck around. They've kept buying their memberships. They've kept turning up to games, and it's like the membership slogan. It does get into your blood, the yellow and black, and we've got terrific supporters. So, hopefully we can get on top of this debt, get some money back in the footy department. We're definitely on the right track. Damien Hardwick got a young team. Give them a chance to compete in finals by giving them every opportunity, and that's basically what it's all about.
New sponsor named Jeep. Jeep has been named as a new sponsor today. That's good news. Kevin, some of your former teammates and yourself will be speaking tonight. Can we wrap it all up by around 9:30 so I can get home and go to sleep?
Well, in fact, I was hoping...
A lot of old blokes
by
tonight.
coming on today I could say to you, Steve, if Steve Price and MTR could actually donate $6 million, we could actually wrap it up right here and now. I think the oval on the corner of Punt Road there, which is an iconic site, the Steve Price Oval, brought to you by MTR, $6 million.
Easy.
Let's wrap it up. Let's put this to bed. Let's go home now.
Yeah, well, that'd be easy, wouldn't it, Matthew? Wouldn't have to worry about tonight.
That'd be great. And Pricey, there are a couple of tickets left, so if anyone does want to go tonight, it's call Rachel Duncan at the club, 9426 4486.
Well, Andrew Bolt's out there. He's a Tiger man. We'll perhaps get him to sign up tonight.
Surely he'll be down there tonight.
Kevin, you're speaking?
Yes, I'm speaking tonight, and I'm not quite certain who else is speaking. I know that Richo and BT, of course, are emceeing the night. I imagine Brendan Gale will be speaking, and also Craig Cameron, also the coach Damien Hardwick will be outlining, the future of the club and why it's so necessary for the club to actually raise $6 million if the club is, going to be fair dinkum about being a force in AFL football again. So it's also the bringing together of a lot of people over a lot of years who've done a lot of great things for the club. And I noticed this morning that Matthew Knights is going to be there. I'm absolutely thrilled that Matthew Knights is going to be there because he was a great Richmond player.
Still can remember that finals appearance against Essendon, Richo, when he carved them up and we came back from about 10 goals down at half time.
Look, that's one of the great finals performances by Knighter. I didn't play that day, and I just remember being in the grandstand, and he basically won that game for us, and it is great. I saw his name on the list yesterday. I haven't seen Knighter for a while, but it's great to see him back at the club, and that just shows it's bringing in those past players. They're supporting it wholeheartedly, and it's fantastic.
Exactly. An honour to talk to you as usual, Richo, and to UKB. Thanks for dropping in from next door, and good luck tonight.